Hello, trading is closed on August 31st. We'll go over our calls in just a minute. Here's our disclaimer. It's my plan for tomorrow. Trade at your own risk. News on the proposed webinar is coming up. I was planning on having it Sunday, September 13th. Turns out my wife has booked me for things all through the month of September on the weekends, which is the only time I can do it. So I have personal business every weekend. So I either have to do the webinar the Labor Day weekend when people have other plans, or wait until October despite promising to deliver it earlier. So what I propose is I'm going to make a video explaining how I use the system. I'm going to go over chart after chart and explain how everything works. I think it'll be ready in a week. I'll answer any questions after regular market hours if things aren't clear. And then, no extra charge, I plan to do the webinar in October for anyone who bought the video. That way people can get the information without having to wait a month. The only catch is I can't promise to do the webinar if circumstances beyond my control arise. I don't have any health issues, but who knows what can happen in a month's time. That's my plan. I just don't like to promise things I'm not certain I can deliver. So I'm not going to take any money from anyone till I can deliver the product. I think that's wrong. If someone has a different idea, I'm open to it. That way people get the information fast and they can email me anytime after the market hours. Just can't do it during the market hours any longer. And hopefully we'll have the webinar next month. So that's my plan. And once I'm done with this, probably in a week, more information is coming. Okay, look for the pattern with the early high. This is it. Tends to be a rally day with a late high. That's what this is. Tomorrow has the early low. When you have this rally, all-time high, then you drop and you close under all these prior highs. It's a negative pattern, leads to lower prices. Tomorrow, only thing that would kill it would be if we gapped and took out this high promptly. Doesn't mean we have to close lower, but that's pretty negative stuff. During the day, MEJT said this rally was a false move, price it would retrace. Said the same thing about the drop, I wouldn't stick. Here it gave buy signals, but that just means there's a higher target. The system didn't require us to trade as high as we did. I'm glad we did for those who were long, but it just says you're going to trade higher and it's too soon to make a move down that sticks. Here's what we said before. We said I thought my original 3509.50 target will be surpassed. I looked for a big move today based on someone else's work. That didn't happen. But tomorrow's open's a substitute for today's close. So I'm going to say tomorrow's open should be a large move. Typically, you either get a straight line drop or a rally with this pattern. I don't know if that's really enough of a straight line drop for me. 14 points? Well, maybe that was it. I don't know. I mean, you can't be sure. But usually the day looks uglier than this if you're going to get the straight line drop pattern. So I expect tomorrow we're either going to gap up smartly or drop smartly. Well, this was my original call for a top, 3509.50. I said Friday. I didn't think that would stick. So how close do we come? Well, I don't know if that squiggle's enough to change the idea that this is a strong resistance area. I'm going to stick with that potential top. Here was the old high, multiple prior highs, moved up strongly to a new high. Don't forget, smart money isn't going to wait to the last 15 minutes to take us to new highs unless we've been going up all day, which we weren't. And then we close under all these highs and even under that low, and that's not good stuff. We can still invalidate it at tomorrow's open, but right now it looks negative to me. Now I have an alternate account that I wasn't too fond of. I always had wave magenta 5 ending here for a number of reasons. One, with a strong impulsive move, wave 5 usually truncates. Also, I thought this counted more cleanly as a 3 than a 5, but it is possible to count it as a 5, and this count doesn't break any rules. And if this is the right count, we have an ABC with good Fibonacci ratios right at today's high. Of course, we've had counts all the way up that were compatible with a high. If you have a count that says it could be a high, you can't say anything. If you don't have a count that says it's compatible with a high, then you probably don't. But this isn't enough all by itself. I'm more impressed by that trend line and the reversal from the all-time high. So tomorrow's pattern has early low, doesn't mean you won't gap up. Today's normally bullish pattern did not close near its high. New all-time high was immediately rejected as we closed under multiple prior highs. Unless we overtake him and gap promptly, unless we give a gap and promptly overtake today's high tomorrow, I think we see lower prices. We didn't have the usual strong rally or straight line drop, thus you want to count that business at the end. Tomorrow's open substitutes for today's close, so I'm looking for a big move one direction or the other. We stalled at a long-standing trend line. If the rally is to continue uninterrupted, it would be ideal if we gapped over that line on the monthly chart. I suppose doing it later on the daily chart would also do, but usually when something works, it works and you don't have to make excuses. The line in September is around 35.28 at this time. It doesn't look as if we're going to gap over that price. Today's a candidate for the end of this leg. The other candidates before. Only when some prior lows fall can we have greater confidence that the next leg down has started. So, tomorrow has the early low. If there's a big drop, the odds increase that was all she wrote for this leg. We did see higher prices in futures overnight. I think at some point we'll see them again. It's often soon, but doesn't really have to be. By this weekend, I plan to finish work on my video. I plan to get that out to anybody who's interested. If people want the webinar instead, I think I'll have to wait until October because my wife scheduled me for stuff every weekend this next month. But if we give you the video now, you can still get the information you need, and then I'm planning on having the webinar later on. I'll give you additional information after I complete all the work, and it should be done over Labor Day weekend. And that, at long last, is today's call.